Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. If you're new here, I'm into all things finance, reading and creativity. And today I wanted to talk more about getting up early. I previously put out a video called The Benefits of Waking Up Early, just talking about some of the benefits of getting up early rather than sleeping in or staying up late. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. But today I wanted to just share some tips and tricks that have helped me become an early riser. It's all well and good to have benefits of waking up early, but if you're not actually waking up early in the first place, then you can't get any benefits. If you find any of the tips or advice useful, definitely leave me a like. It really helps me out. And if you're interested in some of the same topics, hit subscribe and join the journey. But other than that, let's get into it. Alright, so I just want to start out by saying I've actually not always been an early riser. I remember in my teenage years and then even in my early 20s, there'd be days when I'd be getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not like waking up early has always just been my natural instinct. I haven't always just been an early bird by nature. It's something that I've developed over time and worked on. And I'll now pretty consistently get up around 6:30 a.m, which again isn't crazy early compared to some people. Some people get up at like 4 a.m. every single day, but it's a good balance for me because it means I can go to bed at a good time to get enough sleep, but not so early that I miss out on things like hanging out with my fiance or watching TV or relaxing. But all that to say, I've learnt a few techniques and tricks over the years that have helped me become more consistent in waking up early. So tip number 1, which may seem obvious, but is really important, is making sure you go to bed earlier. If you're currently going to bed at like 1 a.m. and you're trying to wake up at 6, that means you're only getting about 5 hours sleep, which is just not enough. You're going to feel super groggy in the morning. You're not going to want to wake up. You're going to want to just lie there and sleep in. Whereas if you're asleep by 10:30 and you wake up at 6:30, you're getting about 8 hours sleep, which is about what you need. I usually aim for between 7 and 8 hours, and that usually is enough for me. The amount of hours that you will need to sleep varies person to person. So if you figure out how many hours you routinely need, which is usually for adults between 7 to 9 hours, then all you have to do is just work out the time you want to wake up and go to bed 8 to 9 hours before that. This will make it so much easier to wake up, because once you do wake up, you'll feel well rested, you'll feel ready to rise, you won't feel super groggy, and it'll just be all around easier. So kind of leading on from that is point number 2, which is set reasonable goals. If you routinely wake up like 9 a.m, 10 a.m, then don't aim for waking up at 4 a.m. every single day straight away, because inevitably you'll fail. Set your new wake up goals even just half an hour earlier than your current routine. So if you wake up at 9 o'clock currently, just set your alarm for 8:30 and then do that for about a week or 2 until you've got a bit more of a routine and adjusted to it, and then start waking up half an hour earlier than that. So set your alarm for 8 o'clock and then just incrementally over a period of time wake up a little bit earlier until you hit your target, which may be more like 6 a.m. There's a common problem when people are trying to start new habits across the board is that they try and do too much too fast. Whereas if you break down your goal into achievable smaller chunks, it increases the likelihood that you'll consistently achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. So tip number 3, which I found really useful, is have something to look forward to in the mornings. If you're waking up and you're just doing work or something that you're not really excited about, then add something into your morning routine that gets you excited, that gets you wanting to get out of bed. For me, it's wanting to make coffee. So as part of my morning routine, I really look forward to my morning coffee. I take my time and brew an AeroPress and then steam some soy milk with my steamer and create a nice latte. So that's what I look forward to in the mornings. But it could be anything for you. It could be going for a run, or it could be reading a book. Just create something that you look forward to so that the idea of waking up early in the morning isn't absolutely horrible. So this kind of ties into point 4 for me, which is reduce as much friction when you wake up as possible. And what I mean by this is basically when you wake up, don't make it hard for yourself to get out of bed and to get your day started. For example, one thing that I like to do in the evenings before I go to bed is lay out my clothes for the morning. That way when I wake up, I know that all I have to do is get out of bed and jump in the shower, and I've already got my clothes picked out, and I don't have to make any decisions about what to wear. I don't have to rummage through all my wardrobe or my drawers to try and figure out where my clothes are. All that decision making is already done for me. So when I wake up, I can just jump out of bed, have a shower and chuck on my clothes. And there might be other things in your own life that are kind of obstacles or friction to you getting out of bed early. Another common one might be making breakfast. When you feel groggy in the morning and you feel tired, you don't really want it. You can't be bothered getting out of bed and preparing your breakfast from scratch. So one thing I like to do sometimes is, again, prepare my breakfast the night before. I'll lay out my bowl, lay out my spoon and all the ingredients. It's all ready to go. All I have to do when I get up is just throw it together. Or even sometimes I'll do like overnight oats in the fridge. So all I have to do in the morning is just grab it out of the fridge and start eating. So the more obstacles, the more friction you can reduce in the mornings when you are feeling a bit groggy, the easier it becomes again to get up and start your day. So number 5 is kind of a super practical tip. I've tried this on and off over the years. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. So give it a shot. And that's basically just putting your alarm away from your bedside table so that it forces you, once your alarm goes off, to actually get yourself out of bed to turn it off. And I think the key here is once you've actually gotten out of bed, don't get back into bed, because as soon as you get back into bed, then you're back to square one. I've always found that the challenge. It's so tempting once you've gotten out of bed, turn your alarm off. You do feel very tempted because you're feeling a bit groggy to just slump back into bed. But if you can push past that and stay up, it's a very quick way of getting yourself up and going. So number 6 is another super practical tip that I've actually discovered just through trial and error over the years. So it may or may not work for your body, but it does for me. And that is, make sure I drink enough water before I go to bed. If you think about it, when you go to sleep, you're not drinking for a good 7 or 8 hours straight. So chances are by the time you get to the morning, you're actually a little bit dehydrated. And that can contribute massively to feeling groggy and lethargic. And so if you can make sure you're hydrated before you go to bed, you won't feel as groggy when you wake up in the morning. I usually drink 2 cups of water before I go to bed, because that means it's enough to keep me hydrated, but not so much that I have to wake up in the middle of the night and go to the loo. And I'll also keep a single cup of water next to my bed, so when I wake up in the morning, I can just immediately drink it down, and that starts to wake up my body from the sort of groggy, dehydrated state that it's in. So tip number 7 is another practical one, which again I've discovered through my own personal experimentation, which is don't eat a lot of food right before bed. Again, it just seems to make me feel more groggy in the morning, makes me less inclined to get up and start my day. I just want to lie there and feel like a vegetable for a little bit longer. So I try not to eat much 2 hours before I go to bed. And so finally, tip number 8. This is actually, I think, probably the biggest out of all the tips that has helped me the most, and I think will really help you be more consistent at getting up early. And that is, have a key reason why you're getting up early. If you're just getting up early because you think it's a good idea, chances are you're not going to stick with it. I think when it comes to self-discipline, motivation is such a key component. If you're strongly motivated to get somewhere, you'll put in the discipline to achieve it. And so if your goals for getting up early are kind of wishy-washy, like, oh, I just want a bit of extra time in my day, or oh, I just like the thought of being an early riser, then chances are that's not going to be a strong enough motivation. When it comes to that 6 a.m. alarm, you're just going to want to hit the snooze till your normal get up time. But if you're highly motivated by a goal, for example, you want to finish a book a week, or maybe you're trying to get more leads for your business, and that becomes part of the reason why you wake up, chances are you're going to be a lot more incentivized to actually wake up in the morning. So make sure you have a super clear reason for why you're wanting to wake up so early, and regularly remind yourself of it. Keep your goal in front of you, because this will help keep you motivated and put in the discipline to actually get up early. So there you go, guys. That's kind of some of the big tips that have definitely helped me become more consistent in waking up early on a regular basis. Of course, I still have weeks and periods of time where I lapse and become lazy and don't wake up early. And even at times when I do wake up early, it's still hard to actually get your butt into gear and actually get something done or get out of bed and start your day. But like I said in my benefits video and in this video, I think waking up early is really a great way to getting ahead and getting more things done. And I think if you get into the habit, you'll really appreciate it. So as always, let me know in the comments your thoughts. I'm keen to hear, are you an early riser? Do you prefer to go to bed late? And definitely let me know if any of these tips have worked for you. And definitely let me know if you've got any good tips on how to wake up more consistently early in the morning. Other than that, that's it for this week's video. I'll see you very soon in the next video.